Hello, y'all. Welcome to my first ever book review. I read this book actually last summer, and took me half a year to decide I wanted to make a channel, and then another half of the year to decide to actually make this review. So now here we are. As you can see, I will be reviewing Where the Crawdads Sing by Delia Owens today. The synopsis, courtesy of Wikipedia, Where the Crawdads Sing is a 2018 coming-of-age murder mystery novel by American zoologist Delia Owens. The story follows two timelines that slowly intertwine. The first timeline describes the life and adventures of a young girl named Kaya as she grows up isolated in the marshes of North Carolina. The second timeline follows an investigation into the apparent murder of Chase Andrews, a local celebrity of Barley Cove, a fictional coastal town of North Carolina. Sounds intriguing enough. Why did I pick up this book? It was actually a recommendation from my little brother. It was required reading for one of his high school English classes. They didn't require it for my year, but they did for his. And he said it was a good book, so I was like, I'll take him up on his offer. For once, this is a book that I read before watching the movie, and boy, am I glad I did that. So, general thoughts? I did quite like the writing style of this book. It's very elegant. Her descriptions beautiful. You can tell she knows what she's talking about nature. I quite like the characters. Some of them were a little stereotypical, but I'll get more on that later. But overall, I love myself some good characters, and these ones were pretty good, in my opinion. And the plot was captivating enough. Very character driven, especially in the beginning, but the whole murder mystery did keep me on my toes, especially during the court scene at the end of the book. So I'd rate it 4.5 stars. I think it says 4 stars on Goodreads right now because you can't do half stars on there. And an 8 out of 10. Would recommend. On to spoilers right now if you haven't already figured that out. But here we go. My thoughts on the characters. First, we have Miss Kaya Clark. Oh my goodness. The way I felt so bad for her throughout the entire book. Because you can tell, because of her family situation and all that, that she really has abandonment issues. And that's why when she goes to Chase, you know he's not good for her. But after being abandoned by literally everyone she ever cared about, you kind of understand why she did the things she did. But also, I'll get more on this later in the ending, but oh goodness. I knew she was the one who killed Chase because mainly based on the fact that she never said that I'm not guilty or that I didn't do it. She never said that when Tom was questioning her and her defense. All she ever said was that I don't want to go to jail or that she didn't want to get caught. But she never denied any claim or that she was the one who actually did the crime. But some people say that's not really the point and it's meant to be obvious that it was Kaya, but I still felt the suspense either way. Now we have Tate. Lovely Tate. I thought he was a cool guy. It's obvious that he really respects Kaya. He helps her with her interests. He taught her how to read. He helped her get her book deal. It was very sweet and all that. Oh my goodness. I especially loved when he taught her how to read that one line. I don't remember what it is exactly, but something about now you'll never have to know what it's like to not read again, or something like that. Lovely line. I'm glad they included it in the movie too, because it was one of my favorites. But my one gripe with him is the fact that when he left her for college, and then he didn't come back to visit her when he promised, that just felt a bit of, like, contrived conflict. It didn't have to happen. It could have been easily avoided, but I guess the story needed a reason for them to be on bad terms, as if there wasn't already one. So that's why that happened, but it made me mad because I was like, yes, he's being a coward. Yes, he can be imperfect, but ugh, Why couldn't he have just. He knows Kaya has abandonment issues. So wouldn't he know not to do that to her? I don't know. Not the best move on his part, but whatever. Now we have Chase Andrews. You know it. He's the worst. And you knew he was the worst from the minute he showed up. I don't even like Taylor Swift, but I thought that was a fun addition. sorry to all the Swifties. Special mentions of characters that I liked. Jumpin' and Mabel. Love them. So sweet. And how they took care of Kaya and took her in when no one else would. How they helped her out as much as they could and bought her muscles. Lovely. Lovely people. And a big special mention to Tom Melton, her lawyer. That man went to such great lengths to help her out. Oh my goodness. I think it's probably better for him to know that she it's probably better for him to never know that she actually did it, because I bet that would destroy him after everything he fought for and believed. Okay, so as you can probably tell by now, I didn't have that much of an organized plan when I went into this. Like when I listened to this as an audiobook, by the way. Most of these book reviews are based on audiobooks. That's why I don't have the physical copy to cite lines from, which is unfortunate. But anyway, I basically listened to the book while doing something else, like an art project or something, and then I scribbled down random thoughts in my Docs app about what I thought along the way. So here are some of those random thoughts. First problem I noticed is that, yes, I get Kaya's childhood situation was not ideal, but it doesn't really make sense to me that her entire family would leave her with her terrible father and not take her with them, even especially since she was like so young. Did they just expect her to fend for herself? I think it mentions later that the mother had some mental problems. I don't know if that's later onset or when she left, but even like Jody, he knew. They all knew how terrible the situation was. That's why they left. So why couldn't they take Kaya with them? I just, I don't get that part. Now, that ending. I'm not exactly sure what the message the author was trying to portray at the end. Maybe it's meant to be. It's probably meant to be completely ambiguous, but are we supposed to be happy for Kaya that she killed Chase and that she got away with it? Because, yes, as I mentioned, Chase is the worst. He did some really, really awful things and tried to do worse things to Kaya. But are we supposed to root for her that she killed him and got away with it? I don't know. That messaging just feels a little odd to me. I don't know. Let me know what you think in the comments for those who've read it. A little side note. You know that one poet that Kaya keeps mentioning throughout the book? Amanda Hamilton? When I was listening to it, I was like, who is this poet? I have never heard her ever in my life. Maybe I should go look her up and see what these poems are. Good thing I didn't, because I nearly spoiled it for myself. I tell you, I was so close to looking it up because I was like, who is this poet she keeps mentioning? But it turns out to be her in the end, of course. So, glad I didn't try to look that up. I did watch the movie a few months ago, finally got around to watching it, because my brother also said he liked it. Here's what I have to say. Okay, so my computer decided it doesn't want to cooperate and didn't record me on this last slide, so this is take 3. My thoughts on the movie: it looks pretty, it has pretty music, and it has pretty people. There's some really pretty shots in that movie. I know my brother made one of it his home screen page, picture, whatever, because he thought it looked nice. And it does look nice. He even arranged one of the songs from it on MuseScore. You should go check it out. It's Am I Your Girlfriend Now? Yeah, really pretty piece. Two small comments on the movie. One, why is Kaya so clean? I maybe that's the point. Maybe it's to show that people are really just prejudiced against her because the idea of her as the March girl, even though she looks normal, but I don't know, it was different than what I imagined her, and maybe that's a me problem. But it was just a little shocking to me. But I am so glad I read the book first because the tension, especially during the murder trial, wasn't exactly there when I was watching the movie because I already knew the ending. But so yeah, usually I'm really bad about this, but I always like watch movies and then I go read the book. But I'm so glad I read the book first in this case. Anywho, that's the end. Thanks for sticking with me. Sorry this was so chaotic, but I'm still trying to get in the groove of it, figure out how I want to make these videos, make them run. So maybe they'll be more organized later, or maybe I'll keep doing it from my little scattering of notes as I read and keep it like that. We'll see how it goes. Anywho, thanks for sticking with me. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.